Abusia, ye man penny John Mahama kasa. Na ose oba be buakuafo pa.
We're importing about $500 million worth of rice a year, and we're producing some locally. Today, we're importing $950 million, almost $1 billion worth of rice. And that is only rice.
One to one na. Sese Ghana imported aduane kwa almost $1 billion a year. Wow.
Farmers need support. We've approached it the wrong way. I realize handle agricultural machinery, keep the machines, but they offer the services to the farmer at a fee. If the farmer is not able to pay, you can give him a credit line. When he harvests his crops and he sells his crops, he can come and pay what he owes. It will even help with agricultural credit.
Because one of so one eya wadwen se ehiafo ena yekua anase empo wo yekua na chese wo yehiani no John Dramani Mahama kasa o chese ono odiska be chekua mempo no so wo yekua ni na ohia sika obema osika dia ye adwuma no na se emre no so na onoba ye no ba na watua chale chese mama Mama de me say papa no na okanya ka say uba Europe kra anase like uba Europe I mean kan say uba Europe at the first ka fo bebre na most ekuafo eyam papa we are say ekuafo mu develop no omo na esikafo odi memfa ya maame late ekuadonko any example menka ya busuafo yaw but ya maame de bi okasa o kire mo hu ze no ono sebi school dem gra wan sibi do but ekua eno mo hu no se no wo skacha ekua donko what you say nti John Mahama so oba be hye ekua num kena empo tratesa nemre so ode ba ya ekuafo no enim anhu ne user omo sese bi no so the tractors ebe ba obetra so ode hu engineers ebe ba se ne ebe ya tractors no 6 months bia ombe ko repair ombe ko na chese utie ye papa John Dramani Mahama na che o chese odwe ekuafo pa na ye kwakwohwe interview a one bra penyi the whole Ghana YouTuber penyi pa o de maya oye nsema okaye batansa ye bekọ akotie yewura John Dramani Mahama nsema oka efa ekuafo ho no ye kwahwe kromfo we embla me de me zo anya kromfo ye kwahwe bla we embla ozo wakowia ties ka ties ne rem ye hwe de to ne
jani wo fo ma ye be bu a
o kita body se on fa ni ejuma
wallahi
akoyi ble di akromfo na ye mo hewe enkrofo so mo mbu no mo so mo de mo nya no hwi o enkrofo no mo ye di pasa mo de no mo mbu no onye exercise ya awu se ni akobna ne ho si pupo na mo ze no kro no enya de abusiana me ka se di no edase obi de IMB ana chande eye obiba DTV oba no like no share no ja comment ato ama FFF so subscribe page we am so no abo ho mo de subscribe no turn notification bell no at all say na be ya dan da nyina drop new video bi a wo be first person na be ba behwe na mamemfa enko Mahama nsema Mahama kan no tobo nyamre pa na tie nsema Mahama kan
A lot in my time, and at the time our focus was on infrastructure, because we came and met a situation where our infrastructure was degraded. And so, of course, all the investments that we raised, we put into improving the roads, building interchanges, expanding the airports, new terminal buildings. We built a new harbor. We built new hospitals, new schools, and all that. I know that if we do come into office again in 2025, the fiscal space is going to be very narrow because of the economic crisis in which we are. And so I do think that the next phase we should be looking at, we're not going to have enough fiscal space for large infrastructural projects. But I think that what Ghanaians are looking for is a change in our governance system, a review of our constitution, a strong fight against corruption. I mean, those are the kinds of things young people are looking for. But at the same time, raising investments and putting them in areas where young people can get opportunity to develop their full potential. And so I think that is the agenda for a next NDC administration. It might be me, it might be one of, we're going to have primaries and people are going to contest. And so you cannot presume that I'm going to emerge as the presidential candidate.
And I know since you're a nice guy, you're talking about corruption. Will it be possible for you, discipline people who are corrupt in your government?
Yes.
Because that's one thing that we've been fighting about. I know and believe that you heard about the problems of Africa when you were growing up. It's been there all the time. Everyone keep on saying the leaders, the leaders, the leaders. You don't think that narrative needs to change?
It must change. Today, we held a side event. I'm the chairman of the Tana Forum, which is the leading peace and security think tank in Africa. And we're talking with our European counterparts, and we're talking about investment in Africa, having more control of our natural resources, and issues like that, bilateral trade, the African Continental Free Trade Area. But I was honest to say that other issues that are within our own control to review are things like corruption, good governance, more democracy, free speech, protection of human rights. Those ones you don't need any foreigners to come and do for you. You need to do those yourselves. So those are issues that we must resolve ourselves internally. And then based on that, we can go and sit on the table and tell others that this is what we want to see.
But definitely, the fundamental problem of our economy.
Yes.
We actually export more of our raw materials and importing finished goods.
Little value addition.
Your Excellency, you don't think this must change just to help the local entrepreneur?
Even before you talk about value addition, there's the problem of our huge food import bill. When I was in office, we were importing about $500 million worth of rice a year, and we're producing some locally. Today, we're importing $950 million, almost $1 billion worth of rice. And that is only rice. You talk about tomato products, you talk about vegetable cooking oil, you talk about poultry products, you talk about fish and all that. There is the need to diversify our economy. You cannot do it overnight, but the process must start, that we're able to cut down our food import bill. If we're able to cut down our food import bill, we'll be saving Ghana $3 billion a year. That alone is enough to reinvest in the country and be able to add the kind of value that you are going to talk about.
But how do you intend to achieve that?
I think that farmers need support. We've approached it the wrong way. I realized some of the things that we ourselves did mistakes with. We imported tractors and agricultural equipment and we gave it to farmers. The farmer does not need the tractor, doesn't need the agricultural equipment. He needs the services of a tractor. So somebody who knows how to maintain that tractor must have a service center where he provides the services to the farmer. But we gave the tractors to the farmers. In a year or two, the tractor has broken down because he doesn't know that every 6 months you must change the engine oil, you must change the filters, you must grease the tractor. He doesn't know that, so we'll approach it differently. I think that this government had an opportunity with the Planting for Food and Jobs. I think that money, part of it should have gone into setting up agricultural service centers where companies that know how to handle agricultural machinery keep the machines, but they offer the services to the farmer at a fee. If the farmer is not able to pay, you can give him a credit line. When he harvests his crops and he sells his crops, he can come and pay what he owes. It will even help with agricultural credit.
Because one of the things that I do on the continent is to travel different African countries, promoting young entrepreneurs. And one of the problems that everyone talks about is funding, especially in the agri sector.
Yeah.
The youth of Africa today cannot fund this kind of project. So I don't know if the government will come in terms of, if your government comes to power, you'll come in terms of providing funds for young farmers. I think that would be incredible, man.
You see, the thing about agriculture and farming is you need the big entrepreneurs to go in, and then based on that, if they put in the processing and the nucleus farm, then you have outgrower farmers. And you can bring the youth in and scale them up as they make money. It's done in Kenya. It's done. You have the big tea plantations, but then you have the small tea farmers too. And the small tea farmers, when they grow, they sell to the big tea plantation who process the tea for export, and so everybody makes money. You cannot just take a small young entrepreneur and build him into a successful farmer overnight. He needs to be mentored by a bigger entrepreneur. And don't tell me we don't have entrepreneurs in Ghana. We have them. They're buying Ferrari cars. They're buying Bugattis. Instead of looking into agriculture. I mean, one of our MPs said, if you want to be a poor man, go into agriculture. He doesn't know. He should go to East Africa and see some of the richest people are farmers. And I'm sure that if our people just stopped trading, as soon as somebody gets money, all he wants to do is trade. Make up so.
Yeah, no.
And then go to China, go to Dubai, go bring things, come and sell. And so when duties are high, we're crying, Guta is on strike, and so on and so forth. But I mean, if we're able to grow what we eat what we grow, I think that we would be successful as a nation. It's a process that must start. And I had hoped that this government would be able to start it. But unfortunately, the economic crisis in which they have landed the country, I wonder how we're going to be able to raise the capital. But these are the kinds of projects that African Development Bank is interested in.
Mekrana minim say your bank be from African Development Bank omo support e kuafo ene na sefo nti fatu utrim say wo pese o ye kua your bank omo African Development Bank omo support we posa Binance support na utimi je nkese a sangrofo ebe ma loan ama wo de aye wadwuma kama umpe we na apede ene so aha na medum besi me ma video na enye tente me da se onya mre ebe hwe makramo bye bye.